Hello, in this video we will talk about a disease which both for cultural reasons and because it's not recognized as such by a large number of doctors, many patients prefer to go to witches and healers for their treatment. We refer to the disease of fright. According to popular tradition, fright is a disease in which people lose their soul and sink into the deepest unhappiness after experiencing a strong emotional shock or terrifying fear. According to the tradition itself, fright can occur at any age, but it's more frequent in infants and young adults, and when a pregnant woman suffers from it, it's transmitted to the unborn child. The main events that can cause fright are encountering a supernatural being, for example, an owl or a dead person, that is the spirit of someone who has already passed away. Suffering a dangerous accident, let's say a very high-risk fall. Having been about to die drowning in the water. Encountering with a wild or dangerous animal, for example, the surprise appearance of a snake. Suffer a nearby lightning strike. Observe or live acts of strong aggression or violence. Receive heartbreaking news and being threatened to an extreme degree of death. In summary, the fright is produced by a strong traumatic episode that threatens the physical and emotional integrity of a person. In extreme cases, this event can even cause death. Signs and symptoms of fright can appear anywhere from days to years after the traumatic event and can include sadness, distress and depression, low self-esteem, inconsolable crying, preference for dark places or with very little light, sleeping with shocks, indifference to the environment and lack of motivation, lack of appetite, abdominal swelling, diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, weakening, hair loss, headache, muscle pain, and cold, mainly in the extremities. In medical terms, based on the DSM-5 or Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, which is the leading authority on psychiatric diagnosis, the characteristics of fright are significantly consistent with post-traumatic stress disorder. The treatment for fright offered by traditional medicine consists of performing certain rituals, such as cleansing or sweeping, in which the healer and the patient's family participate, in addition to taking remedies. However, traditional medicine itself considers that children who inherit their mother's fear during pregnancy cannot be cured and suffer from it throughout their lives, so they can only keep track of it. In this case, such a belief coincides with depressive disorders of genetic origin. On the other hand, from the perspective of modern Western medicine, post-traumatic stress disorder is managed with psychological therapy, family and social support, as well as pharmacological support. If we make an analogy, we will see that the rituals of traditional medicine are equivalent to the psychological therapies of modern medicine, in that the remedies have practically the same function as the drugs. Let's start with the most frequent procedures of traditional medicine for the management of fright, that is, cleanses and remedies. The cleanses, also called sweeps, are the most common rituals of traditional medicine for fright. They consist of passing along the patient an egg or a bouquet of certain plants. If the cleansing is done with an egg, it must be at room temperature and is passed over the entire body of the frightened person, while prayers and petitions are pronounced in the presence of the patient's relatives. At the end, the egg would have absorbed the evil, and then they proceed to break it and empty it into a transparent glass full of water for the free interpretation of the healer. Finally, the contents of the glass are discarded in the drain so that the evil goes away. However, if a cleanse with plants is chosen, a bouquet made with pyrrole, Santa Maria, rue, and rosemary is passed over the entire body of the patient, together with the corresponding prayers and petitions. Once the cleaning is finished, the bouquet is burned to eliminate the evil, everything in view of the patient and family, so remember that it's a cultural phenomenon. It's advisable to do a cleaning daily or every third day, 9 times or until the patient recovers. However, to enhance the effect of the cleanse, you can take infusions, and this is where the popular bitter scare teas come into play. The two most popular are 1. Bitter herb tea. To prepare this formula, you will need a sprig of wormwood, also known as holy grass, a twig of simonillo, a twig of pericon, and a liter of water. Its preparation consists of heating the water, and when it reaches its boiling point, add the herbs, let the formula boil for 5 minutes, remove it from the heat, let it rest, strain it, and that's all. And 2. BOLDO tea. To make this infusion, you will need a tablespoon of dried BOLDO leaves and a cup of 250 milliliters of water. The leaves of the plant are added to the boiling water. The heat is turned off. The formula is allowed to settle, strained, and that's it. It's recommended to drink a glass of the chosen infusion daily on an empty stomach, hot or cold, for a week. Then it's suspended for the following week, and then it's taken again for only 1 more week. As a precaution, these remedies are not recommended in pregnant women, pediatric patients, or in conjunction with taking oral anticoagulants. Additionally, it's recommended that greasy foods such as eggs and milk or their derivatives are not consumed 8 days after the fright. However, modern medicine treatments for managing post-traumatic stress disorder consist of psychotherapy, medication, or both at the same time. Psychotherapy consists of talk therapy, which is taught to identify what triggers the symptoms and how to manage them. Therapy can be carried out individually or in a group. The second modality may offer a way for the sufferer to connect with others who are going through similar experiences. As can be seen, family and social support is required. The key is that the patient doesn't have to carry alone everything that post-traumatic stress disorder implies. Some people probably find it helpful to turn to the religious community. As for pharmacological support, there are several types of medication that help overcome the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. For example, antidepressants from the group of selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, such as sertraline and paroxetine. Antidepressants help control symptoms such as sadness, worry, anger, and feeling of internal emptiness. There are also other medicines that can help with sleep problems and nightmares. However, in the case of medications, they must be prescribed by the treating physician according to the individual characteristics of each patient.